Hello, my name is Jason Johnson, amateur radio operator, Kilo 3 Juliet, Sierra Juliet. In this video, I'm going to go over how to use the SUPERSTATION application. Before I get started, I'm going to go ahead and describe briefly the setup I have on my computer right now. You'll see two VAR AC instances. The instance on the left in red is configured with my call sign, K3JSJ, and the instance on the right is set up with the club call of our local club, Bowie Wireless Association, K3BWA. So for this demonstration, I'm not connected to any radios. I am routing the audio between these two applications. So all the communication will be contained in this computer using the VAR modem, using the VAR AC app. And in a previous video, I've gone over the SUPERSTATION application. I'll briefly review that for just a moment. I've already installed and configured my SUPERSTATION, and you'll see in the setup menu, I have my call sign, which must be in all capital letters, and a grid square, which should be in caps as well. And then I'm pointing to the local instance of the VAR AC database with the one on the left. Recall that in the middle of the screen are the icons for your SUPERSTATION for your computer, your radio equipment, your amplifier, and your antenna. And as I've just started playing SUPERSTATION, I do not have any upgrades to my station. I'm at level 0 for all of my equipment. A couple other things to point out. In this portion of the screen, you'll see the scores. There's 3 components that make up your total score for the SUPERSTATION. The first is your station score, and this is the values associated with your equipment. I have my contact scores, and those are the QSOs that I make, human-to-human QSOs that have to be at least 10 minutes in length. And for this demonstration video, I've turned the time down to 60 seconds, or 1 minute, and that's for the sake of time. The third component of the score is this distance, and that is calculated by taking the distance between my grid square, which is currently located, you'll notice on the screen, down at the bottom. You have to configure this in your settings in VAR AC. FMPX is my grid square. And then I also have to obtain the grid square of the person I'm communicating with. If I do not log that information, I will not be getting a distance score for the QSO. Now, the way the distance score works, it's the maximum distance across all QSOs. So if you do not get the distance and you forget to log it, as long as you have another distance, you will get a component for this score. And all of these multiply together to get your total score. And the distance is measured in kilometers. So the final thing I'll point out before I get started is this logging portion. It's important that you must log every QSO that you have with SUPERSTATION in order for the program to determine that you've made a call and to give you credit for that. So you can do that by diligently filling out this information and making sure you're clicking the log button. Or while you're playing SUPERSTATION, I would encourage you just to tick this auto log QSO, and then it will automatically log when the QSO is completed. Just recall that you need to put the loc in for the grid square of the other operator, and I'll show you how to request that information. So I'll go ahead and turn the beacons on for this
Sending beacon.
Now you won't hear anything because I've turned the audio of the VAR modem off. You will hear the voice narration. And on the pop-up screen, you'll see that just 0 seconds ago, you get a beacon from me. And then there will be another beacon from K3BWA. I'll turn that on to reset it. And I'll be getting a beacon from this station over to mine. And I'll just demonstrate that the audio path is working between both applications.
Sending beacon.
All right, I'm using the demo version of the modem. I would encourage you to purchase it. I just don't have the license key for the K3BWA. So we notice that on K3JSJ, I'm seeing K3BWA, and likewise on K3BWA, I'm seeing K3JSJ. So now my audio path is configured, and I will bring up the SUPERSTATION app, and I will first demonstrate the mechanic, which is the roll mechanic, and that is to announce to the world you're playing SUPERSTATION. It's also used for each roll, you roll 2 dice. One will be the selection of what equipment you'll try to upgrade. And then the second dice that will roll automatically is the level of the equipment. And that'll help you determine if you're going to get an upgrade or not. So the dice roll is done by the broadcast feature bar AC. So you type roll, and then you can just do a roll, or you can put a message following that. So I will do check out. Check out our website. All right, and I'll go ahead and do a broadcast.
Sending broadcast to all.
Now, what happens is it immediately appears on my station. And I'll slide this over here for the moment. And then on the K3BWA station, once it's demodulated the signal.
Broadcast from Kilo 3 Juliet Sierra Juliet to all. Roll check out www.varacywednesday.net.
All right, so everyone on, in this case, just these two applications are involved. But if you were to broadcast this on HF, anyone on that frequency would see that message. And you'll notice that I have two dice rolls happen. The first is the equipment, and I, in this case, rolled an amplifier. And then the second dice roll occurred is the level. So I went from level 0, which is a starting level, to level 3. And you'll notice that the icon has been upgraded to this nice high-tech amplifier. So that's me as a participant rolling the dice. Currently, with the demonstration software we have for beta users, there's not a limit to how many times you can roll per unit of time. We will be making some changes to that as we do a public release. But for now, you can roll as many times as you want to upgrade your SUPERSTATION. So let me go ahead and let's do this scenario where K3BWA is going to roll the dice. They checked out the website, they learned about SUPERSTATION, and they have installed the app themselves. So they want to go ahead and roll the dice for themselves, but they also want to give a dice roll to others who are playing the game. And why not? This is a cooperative game. We're looking to contact people, make human-to-human interaction and connections. Let's go ahead and roll the dice and give everyone a chance to upgrade their SUPERSTATION. Check out this great app. Hashtag SUPERSTATION.
Sending broadcast to all.
All right. We're going to pop up. Need to evaluate.
Broadcast from Kilo 3 Bravo Whiskey Alpha to all. Roll check out this great app number SUPERSTATION.
All right, so I got my second roll in. And you notice that the roll count went up to 2. One was for me, K3GSJ, the other was for K3BWA. And in this case, I rolled a computer equipment and I upgraded from level 0 to level 1. So this is mini computer, handheld computer, which is fine. That's great. We started with no computer. So you'll notice the station score is still 0. And the reason is you have to have at least level 1 in all your positions in order to get a station score. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe speed through this process, but I'm going to roll the dice a couple times and get at least level 1 in all these positions.
Broadcast from Kilo 3 Juliet Sierra Juliet
Sending
to all.
broadcast to all.
Roll.
All right, we've rolled.
Broadcast from Kilo 3 Juliet Sierra Juliet to all. Roll.
Okay, we've rolled 11 times, and we finally got an upgrade in our last position. That's the radio, and I was lucky on this one because I had not only ran the radio and got that equipment, but I went from level 0 to level 4. So you'll notice that once I've done this, my station score has been upgraded to 64. And that value, 64, is equal to the value of each of the levels multiplied by one another. So 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. And you see the progress at this point is, this corresponds to the 64 position. The maximum score that you can get for your station is 256. So if I continue to play the game, and I will get that to max out at 256 for my multiplier. And we did a little bit of checking into this with some math, and around 30 rolls is what we expect it's going to take for you to upgrade your superstation to that point. Now we've seen the mechanic of the rolling and how you score with dice rolls for the superstation. Let's move on to the next dynamic of the game, and that's making human-to-human contacts with operators. For the purpose of this demonstration, I have set a timer to be 60 seconds. So when we roll the game out in November timeframe for public use, the timer will be 10 minutes. So you'll have to have at least a 10-minute QSO with a human, another person, to qualify to get a contact score. But for this case, I don't want to make you sit here or have to fast forward through the video, so I have my timer set to 1 minute or 60 seconds. So I'm going to pull up both the stations here. I noticed that as K3GSJ, so I see there's a K3BWA, and based upon the messages I'm getting in the broadcast, I believe you may want to play the game. So I'll go ahead and do K3BWA and do a connection to that station.
Connected to Kilo 3 Juliet Sierra Juliet.
Alpha.
All right, so now I'm connected. So I'm going to go ahead and just do exchange of my information. So this is Jason, seeing your station information. So if you look at the contact log, I've not contacted this operator yet. So I do not have his loc, his grid square. In order to get a score, I need to have a contact that's at least 10 minutes in length. And then I need to get the grid square in order to use that for the grid square distance multiplier. Request info. Now, keep in mind, the distance is the maximum distance across all of your QSOs. So if you do forget to get the loc every now and again, that's no problem. But just be sure that you're diligent about this, because if you have a QSO from, say, Maryland, for example, all the way down to South Africa or Australia or New Zealand, because we have several participants in RAC Wednesday from those locations, I'll miss out on a very long distance score, which will really help boost my superstation score. So here's the loc information that came back. The operator is in FM 19OA, and I'm at location FM 18PX, so I will have some distance between those two grid squares. So the QSO started at 23 after, it's now 25. I've been on long enough because I just have a minute. So I'll say 73 and good luck. And then check out K3GSJ and subscribe on YouTube. All right, so I've done talked about the roles dynamic. And what I want to do now is I want to go ahead and disconnect and show you what happens once you finish the QSO. So I have my auto log checked because I want to make sure I get credit for this. Alternatively, if you don't have this checked, you can check the log button, and I'll go ahead and disconnect. Now on Superstation, there's a timer that will, once it reaches full, it's going to check to see if there's a new log.
Disconnected from Kilo 3 Bravo Whiskey Alpha.
Disconnected from
QSO
Kilo 3
duration,
Juliet Sierra
2
Juliet.
minutes and 29 seconds.
QSO duration, 2 minutes and 33 seconds.
All right, so what happened is the timer expired, and I went ahead and looked at my log, and I got credit for one contact, and the distance was 8.5 kilometers. And there is a pop-up, which is probably hidden over here. So it gives me an alert message. It says the QSO with K3BWA was 150 seconds. Congratulations, this QSO is long enough to receive a score for your superstation. So every time you make a contact, you will get one of these pop-ups. And if the time is not long enough, if it's less than, say, for the public release 10 minutes, it will say that you did not receive a score, and this will not update accordingly. And then if I take all these numbers and multiply them together, and this does round the score, I do have a score of 545. So hopefully this video has been helpful to illustrate how the Superstation application and game works. And if you do have any issues that you run into, maybe a bug that comes up, or you have a question about how to use it, please feel free to contact Mark, KB0US, or myself, Jason, K3JS.
Sending beacon.
And this has been Jason, K3JSJ, and please, I would encourage you to subscribe to this YouTube channel to look for more videos about SUPERSTATION, as well as Bar AC Wednesday. And I hope you're all doing well. And until next time, I will say 73.